like and subscribe right now, and you'll have amazing luck for an entire week. They may not look the part, but these are the last surviving dinosaurs. This one looks like a living fossil, and here's the closest thing you'll see to a dragon. These are the creatures that have lived on the planet since millions of years ago. Number 10. The chicken. When is the chicken not a chicken? When it's a dinosaur. It turns out that the chicken on your plate, the pigeon bobbing its head on the sidewalk, and even that duck waddling across the street are all dinosaurs. In fact, the idea that all birds are descended from dinosaurs is one that has been made abundantly clear thanks to studies drawn from hundreds of dinosaur fossils and backed by anatomical evidence. This was bolstered in 2003 when renowned dinosaur scientist Jack Horner and Mary Schweitzer obtained the first genetic evidence which astonishingly linked the chicken ancestry to the T-Rex. They were able to text tiny bits of unfossilized material they found by chance on a 68-million-year-old T-Rex bone, comparing its collagen to samples from 21 different animals, including humans, mice, alligators, ostriches, and chickens. Ostrich and chicken collagen samples were shown to have a remarkable similarity to that of the T-Rex. And in the year 2020, the discovery of this well-preserved 67-million-year-old fossil skull, believed to have belonged to the last common ancestor of every duck and chicken on the planet, confirmed that the poultry we love today actually lived alongside dinosaurs. In fact, some paleontologists are now convinced that chicken, all birds, actually, are themselves living dinosaurs. Number 9. Pangolins. Looking like pine cones that have just learned to walk, pangolins are perhaps the most unusual creatures on this list, easily mistaken for reptiles, but they are in fact mammalian. You might not have heard or known about them, but pangolins are a prehistoric species that have been around for about 80 million years. Today, they are becoming increasingly well known after wildlife experts pegged them as the most trafficked mammals on Earth. Despite being covered in armors of tough scales and sporting long, powerful front claws, pangolins are really just shy and harmless creatures, making them completely defenseless against humans. There are 8 known species of pangolins spread across tropical Asia and sub-Saharan Africa, and all 8 species are being killed at alarming rates. More than 1 million pangolins are estimated to have fallen victim to hunters and poachers, causing staggering population declines in some species. Without the proper interventions, experts predict further population decline up to 80% less the current numbers over the next 2 decades. Number 8. Cockroaches. Very few creatures are more detested than these tenacious, all-around stubborn critters. Nobody wants them in their homes, certainly not at the office, and God forbid if there's an intrusion of these bugs at your favorite restaurant. Yikes. Yet, this is so much more their world than it is ours. According to a new study, cockroaches have been crawling on planet Earth since about 300 million years ago. They are an ancient group of insects that arose during the Devonian period, especially predating the very first dinosaurs by millions of years. Just look closely at this 100-million-year-old fossilized amber recovered from what is now Myanmar, and you'll spot a beautifully preserved cockroach, and it looks pretty much like the ones hiding in the crannies of our kitchen cabinets. So, you might not love them, but any way you look at it, this is their world. We only just happen to be living in it. Number 7. Dragonflies. For as long as pesky pest insects like mosquitoes and biting flies have existed, dragonflies have been there to control their populations. In fact, dragonflies are said to be among the most ancient bugs alive today. They were probably the very first winged insects to evolve millions of years ago. While mosquitoes are believed to have been in existence for 225 million years, dragonflies are said to have been buzzing around the planet since about 300 million years ago. Modern dragonflies don't appear to have changed much from their prehistoric ancestors looks-wise. In terms of size, however, let's just say that your old newspapers would have been useless for swatting the dragonflies of the time. With a wingspan of about 30 inches and a tail-to-head body length of roughly 20 inches, this was the largest of all giant bugs of prehistory. This one specifically is Meganeura. Number 6. Frilled sharks. If this shark looks uncharacteristically prehistoric, that's because its kin have been around for millions of years. Very little is known about them, but scientists say that frilled sharks have been swimming across the depths of the ocean since the time of dinosaurs. They've been around since 80 million years ago, and they don't appear to have changed much. Is it any wonder they look like living fossils? Add that to the fact that they are rarely encountered by humans, so there could be only a handful of frilled sharks in existence. Experts consider them to be a naturally rare species, and yet they have endured through time. Whatever information we know about these unusual sharks comes from scientists examining the few individuals captured accidentally as bycatch in deep-sea net fisheries. Back in 2007, this prehistoric-looking fellow was caught swimming in shallow waters at a port in Shizuoka, Japan. Marine experts believe that it was only at the water's surface because it was either sick or injured. But even then, its ghostly appearance and those hundreds of terrifying teeth in its mouth gave off a strong, "Nope, swim away" instinct. Number 5. Ostriches. These majestic birds have existed long enough to have been found fossilized, and yet much of their evolutionary history remained largely unknown until fairly recently. The oldest undisputed ancestor of today's ostriches are believed to have emerged in the Miocene of Africa about 20 million years ago. That was until ornithologists stumbled upon some large forgotten ostrich fossils that had been uncovered in Germany shortly before the Second World War, revealing that the first ostriches might have roamed Earth some 50 million years ago. And in more recent research findings that featured widely in scientific publications, scientists discovered that chickens and ostriches actually shared an evolutionary link with the iconic dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. They believe that prehistoric ostriches evolved from small dinosaurs before they went extinct. In fact, there's a group of theropod dinosaurs called ornithomimosaurs that are often described as being a superficial resemblance to modern-day ostriches. If anything, it's easy to look at the ostrich's long neck, whose powerful legs, and their practically useless upper limbs, and make the link to their dinosaurian ancestry. Number 4. Rhinos. They might not have had the iconic horns of the rhinos we know and love today, but these towering behemoths that looked more like giant tapirs than true rhinos were among the first rhinos to appear on the planet some 50 million years ago. The direct ancestors of today's rhinos would not appear in the fossil record until about 40 million years ago, after the family had diverged into more than 100 species, a few of whom had distinct anatomical features different from the living rhinos we see today. The nasal horn, for instance, evolved several times within the subfamily Rhinocerotoridae, which also includes modern-day rhinos, with some early members sporting one seriously massive horn. This guy was dubbed the Siberian unicorn. Woolly rhinoceroses were also clearly different. They had two huge horns on their snouts and thick fur coats, but they were roughly the same size and weight as modern white rhinos. And while they remained isolated in the Siberian tundra during the Pleistocene epoch some 3 million years ago, they are believed to be perhaps the closest relatives of today's rhinos. They went extinct 11,000 years ago, but were survived by 5 of their rhino sister species, which are, unfortunately, now endangered. Fewer than 30,000 rhinos are estimated to roam the wild today, and if nothing is done to save them, these big guys might not be around much longer.
Now it's time for today's best pick.
Today's topic was suggested to us by a subscriber just like you. Let us know in the comments section what topics you want us to cover, and your suggestion could feature in our next video. Alright, where were we? Number 3. Crocodiles. The prehistoric relatives of the order Crocodilia first appeared 200 million years ago in the early Jurassic period. They are said to share a heritage with dinosaurs, part of a group known as archosaurs, but some scientists question whether they had a close link at all. Interestingly, as we've presented, birds also descended from the group archosaurs, and their evolutionary link has been shown to be much closer to dinosaurs. Unlike birds, however, crocodilians are the only surviving archosaurs to have remained mostly unchanged from their prehistoric ancestors who thrived during the Mesozoic. If you've ever thought that crocodiles look like they belong to another time, that's because they're living fossils from an era when giant reptiles ruled. And like their dinosaur cousins, the first crocodile ancestors had evolved into enormous beasts that would have made modern crocs, gators, and members of the boa and python families. These are some of the oldest snake families and are believed to have emerged from a common ancestor more than 70 million years ago. The pythons and boas of prehistory were both massive serpents, but after the mass extinction that saw dinosaurs wiped out, it is the boas that emerged to be bigger, heavier, and stronger serpents of the old world. Even today, the boa family of snakes are the most heavily bodied serpents slithering in our jungles, with the giant anaconda being the largest member in their ranks. Easily reaching lengths of more than 30 feet, measuring 12 inches across at their widest point, and weighing in at more than 500 pounds, these anacondas are the largest snakes today, perhaps also the largest members in the superorder that comprises all scaled reptiles.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you will get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it, it really works.
Number 1. Komodo Dragon. In some way, Komodo dragons are a relic from another time. Everything from their intimidating gaze to their commanding gait and their fearless, not bothered behavior makes them look positively prehistoric. Weighing in at a whopping 200 pounds, that's as much as the average human, and with the next largest extant lizard weighing in at only 30 pounds, Komodo dragons are true behemoths. They may not be the kind of dragon most people imagine, but they are the largest lizards of their time. They know it, and they act the part. They wear a tough scaly skin for protection and wield a strong muscular tail, powerful claws, and huge jaws for the offensive, making them formidable predators. Komodo dragons have thrived on Lesser Sunda Island in Indonesia as the top predator in their domain for millions of years. Fossil evidence from across Australia and Indonesia show that today's living Komodo dragons originated in mainland Australia 3 million years ago, but their ancestry has been traced much further back, all the way to when dinosaurs were still around. While the first Komodo dragon's ancestors were not the apex predators of their time, they are said to have been large enough to prey on small non-avian dinosaurs, and they occasionally ate the eggs and juveniles of larger dinosaurs. Hey, you made it to the end. Check out our other videos for more amazing content. Thanks for watching.